Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora and here I am to deliver you the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of August 2nd, 2021. And just a quick little kind of like preface here that if you get to this video and it is beyond this week, that is totally okay, because the information that will be coming through today, it is it's timeless information. So it doesn't really matter when I've recorded it. Basically, if you're in resonance with the message that is coming through this week and you happen to stumble upon this, you know, a few weeks down the road or in a month or in a few years or whatever it might be, then you are exactly where you need to be. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Here I am. I decided to come to the park today. I'm gonna take it out and show you guys. Hopefully I don't mess anything up. So here I am. I came to the park. I sat under this beautiful, beautiful tree, connecting to its beautiful energy. So I just wanted to come. It's actually my dad's birthday today. So he's over in the car waiting for me. Well, I decided to come and record this in the park. So yeah, that is this week. So the energy for this week is, it's very interesting because we're kind of coming through this portal energy, this kind of like death portal energy, like just meaning like really deep and intense endings and beginnings. People, if it's not like real physical death, it is actually like the death of old patterns and the death of old programming, right? So that will feel very painful as we release what isn't serving us anymore. So sometimes I was listening to EA, which is Elizabeth April. If you haven't heard of her, she's really, really awesome. She has her own YouTube channel and everything as well. But yeah, so she was talking a lot about how, like, you know, what is the difference between an ego death? Like, how do I know if it's just an ego death or if I'm actually gonna die, right? Like, people have this feeling, but they don't understand it, and so they want to understand it, right? So it's one thing to label it as death, but then it's another thing to reframe your whole idea around what is death to you and what does it mean to you, because it doesn't have to mean necessarily a physical death, right? Anytime that something ends or something begins, right? Because every ending is also a beginning, right? So yeah, so every time that there is an ending, that is considered a death, right? So I just kind of wanted to give that preface as well. When I am talking about all of these deeper topics, it is layered, right? So it is not always the surface of what I'm saying, and sometimes we have to go a little bit deeper in our own consciousness to truly like understand the message that is coming through, right? So we all have our own interpretations. So just kind of giving that so that we can kind of create a bigger awareness around death and around what it really is, because it's like, as human beings, we're really the only animal that is conscious of death. And so what that does to us as a being is it has a lot of power over our psyche and over our choice and over the way that we choose to live our lives, right? Because it's power, it's control, right? So when we are afraid of it instead of actually understanding it, especially in the Western world, death has been very like demonized and dark, and in the Eastern world they call it a celebration of life, right? When somebody passes and goes on to the rest of their journey, which is closer to the truth in my own being, right? Where I feel that is closer to the truth, where this is a celebration of their life and everything that they have accomplished and everything, like all of the moments that they left behind in each and every one of our hearts, right? So it's really just about kind of like rebuilding your relationship. Oh my God, I have so many animals here. I have a little caterpillar and ants all over. Yeah, so basically just recalibrating what death means to you this week. That's a really, really big one, and change and how it affects you in your own reality, especially with a lot of the fear that's going on right now. Oh my God, there's bugs everywhere. I don't even know what this is, to be honest. Okay, anyways, getting distracted. I just want to move it off of me. It's kind of freaking me out. It's like some type of grasshopper something. Okay. So anyway, okay, so yeah, so death energy. So that was kind of my first note that I really wanted to touch on. I don't have like too much written that I want to go into, but there's definitely a lot of information that wants to come through for this week, because like I feel that it's a pivotal, like it's going to be very obvious energies moving forward. And there's this, like, I know we've been talking about this great divide, but it's like we're really here now, and we're really living it, and we're really embodying it, and what we choose to put our energy and our focus towards is what is going to manifest. So really having that awareness, and honestly really big message this week is like recalibration, like recalibrating, like changing your mind. And there's that death, right? Death and change are the same thing. They're one and the same, right? So it's like, so as this one chapter in your life is closing and a new one is opening, where are you going? Well, that is the death. That is the unknown. That is the mystery, right? So it's like, as the one door is closing behind you, where is it that you're going forward? Because yes, every death is a new beginning. So it's like, I keep saying it because we're reprogramming so that we're actually able to not be affected negatively by these darker sides of life and by the darker sides of reality. Because in order for us to live a whole and healthy life, then we have to actually integrate our shadow side. We can't pretend like death isn't a part of reality, right? And we have to build that relationship and really create the foundation for your own being of what it means to you and why things in your life have happened the way that they have happened, so that you can reclaim your soul fragments and your soul fractals from all the lifetimes that you have incarnated, right? So that's really what this is all about, so that you can understand your past lives, this lifetime, your future lives, all your relationships in between, because there's always a reason, there's always a purpose. So when we can really peel the layers back and get under the surface levels of what it is that's going on for us, then we can really get to the nitty-gritty, into the subconscious, into the soul level of what it is that's needing shifting. Because a lot of the time, you know, these are lifetimes that we've carried these wounds, and it's not, I find a lot of us dismiss our trauma, and it's not like, oh yeah, well, you know, there's people that have it way worse than me, so I mean, my problems really aren't that big in the scheme of things. But the reality of it is, in your reality, in your circle, in your little bubble that you live in, that is the biggest block for you, is dismissing that trauma, and is not actually acknowledging that trauma, and is not opening up to actually heal that part of you. So I'm being guided to explain what happens kind of with our soul as we live our life, right? So it's like we come into this world and we're pure and we're innocent and we're full of joy, and everybody thinks that we're perfect, and they look at us with our perfect little hands and our perfect little feet. And then there comes a point in our life where that perfection, that purity, it's gone, it's lost, because it's like, well, then there's expectations, and then there's you know, attachments to outcomes, and there's attachments to people, and there's like wounded decisions coming from wounded aspects of us, and so on and so forth. So then we create this life, or this thing we call life, and we step into this being, and it's like all of our past has kind of like, all of our experiences in the now moment that have now become our past is what we make our decisions based on moving forward. And what if they didn't hold you back anymore? What if you decided to say, yeah, that happened to me, but shifting it into seeing how it happened for you, and seeing how it actually allowed for you to have these deeper understandings, to learn these lessons. Like, we come to incarnate in our human vessel so that we can learn, so that we can expand our consciousness, so that we can connect deeper to this life, to the compassion, to the purity, to the love, to the joy, but also to the pain and to the suffering and to the sorrow. Because in order for us in this third dimensional duality, polarity reality, which is this meaning like you have to have polar opposites in order to have a dual world, and it's the unification of those two separate things is what creates the whole. right? So you can't get to the whole if you're not including all of the aspects, because then the aspects that aren't included within that actually become the shadow, right? So that becomes the shadow side of you, the parts that you don't want to look at, the parts that you suppress, and the parts that you're embarrassed or ashamed of, right? When the truth and the reality of it is, if we actually sat with those experiences, with those aspects of ourselves that got left behind, and we could say, oh wow, look at my belief in that moment and look at how untrue it was. And maybe that's how I felt in the moment, but now as this version of myself, I can reclaim that part of me that didn't feel worthy, and I can really show myself every moment of every day that I am worthy. And how do you prove to yourself that you are worthy? Like, you show up for yourself, you love yourself, you hold space for yourself, and you really give yourself the container to evolve, right? It's like we all want that environment, that space, that container to evolve. Well, you're the one that creates that. And it's not always easy, which I totally understand, but it's just like really being able to tap deeper and deeper into your own wisdom and your own guidance. And that's really what I'm all about, right? Like, I don't want you to come to me for a reading and think that I'm going to tell you your whole future, and you're going to be sadly mistaken and very disappointed when I tell you that you're the creator of your reality, and no future is set in stone, and you're the one that actually chooses your trajectory. You actually co-create it with the universe. So if you're thinking negatively all the time and you keep having all these shitty things happen, well, then when do you start taking responsibility for the way that you see the world, right? And so that's why my job hasn't always been the easiest, and I've really had to learn how to be graceful with my delivery and the way that I explain things, while having that compassionate side, but also having that very logical, linear, maybe not even linear, but the very logical approach where it's like emotional versus logical, right? And it's like I have a very high capacity to not suppress my emotions, but just to like set them aside for a minute and detach from situations so that I can actually prioritize. So that's the balance between the head and the heart, right? Because when we let our heart and our emotions constantly guide us and be overwhelmed and make assumptions and get into this toxic energy as well, that's when we use our mind to pull ourselves out of those toxic emotions. And then the same with, our mind. When our mind gets too out of hand and we can't stop worrying and we can't stop thinking about all of these lower vibrational things, or that, all having these thoughts that maybe aren't serving you, it's like that's when we connect to our feelings. Well, why do you feel that way, right? And connect to yourself and understand how the head and the heart are so intrinsically connected. Because a lot of the time, if you're feeling anxious or if you're feeling depressed, it's your head and your heart are in imbalance. You do not have head and heart coherence. And this is something Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton talk about. I'll say that again. Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, and Bruce Lipton, they all talk about this. Bruce Lipton is the biology of belief, and realizing that our power and our placebo of our mind and the mind power that we actually have in order to change our physiology, which is our physical reality, right? So going deeper and deeper into these teachings and into these people that have really spent time, so much time, going deep. And these are scientists, these are real human scientists that are on their journey to bridge the gap between science and spirituality, because at the end of the day, it is the same coin, there are just different sides. So within that Vesica Pisces, within that Venn diagram, if you will, we have science, spirituality, and there's a point where they come together in the middle, where they have so many similarities, yet they also have their differences, because one is physical, one is energetic, right? Like even though physical at the end of the day is energetic as well, we still have that line, that distinction between the physical and the spiritual, right? And the energetic, if you will. Wow, that was a lot of information that just came through. So that was really cool. So, really, I think if I'm going to condense it into anything, I would say head and heart balance is really the big one, right? And I'm going to bring back what I talked about last week about recentering, rebalancing, and reconnecting, because I really, really love that. And I had a lot of good feedback from me mentioning that last week. And to be honest, I just asked the universe. I was losing my mind, and I was like, okay, how am I supposed to record this? I've tried recording my video 3 times now, and each time there's always a problem. And the problem with that is that I don't actually create any content before recording. It is all channeled. Yes, I have my few notes, but that doesn't mean that I actually have a place that I'm going with all of this, right? Because I just let it all flow, and I trust, and I use my intuition and different connections of myself in order to relay this. So when that kept happening, then I started forgetting, well, what did I say? Was it in this video that I mentioned that, or was it in the last video? I can't remember, but then I just had to surrender and let go, right? So it's really like that masculine energy is coming back up for us, and it's like in both the head and the heart space, because it's like for the head space, the masculine is the direction, right? It is the protection, it is the guidance, it is the one that holds that father figure energy, like the highest form, the Christ consciousness energy, right? And so when we can tap into that guidance within us and allow it to flow, we have to listen, right? So we have to be able to allow it through us. And once we really become that clear conduit, it's like we're being guided this whole way. And okay, my fallopian tubes, guys, I'm sorry, I know for those of you that don't know me too well, I'm a pretty open book, and I'm very connected to my body, and my body speaks to me all the time. So I'm ovulating right now in my cycle, and so that means my eggs are getting released down my fallopian tubes in order to get possibly fertilized, possibly not, and depending on my choices and my actions. And right now I'm like, holy goodness, like I can feel my fallopian tubes, like they're like talking to me, they're so loud, my womb space is like screaming at me, not like screaming in a bad way, but just like really, like, can you hear your body? Do you hear your body talking to you? Do you know when you need food? Do you know when you need water? Do you know when you need sleep? Do you know when you need to have a good time with somebody that you love? Do you know when you need to get these parts of yourself fulfilled, right? So it's like, for me, like, okay, I hear you, my fallopian tubes are literally screaming at me, say, tell them about the physical symptoms. Okay, so there's physical symptoms that are going to be coming through for you as well, that are guiding you. So there's this book called The Secret Language of the Body, and it talks about our emotional connection to whatever physical ailment, because our body is actually our subconscious mind. So what that means is that anything that we suppress, anything we don't want to acknowledge, actually manifests in the body. So for example, like say you have a lot of sexual trauma, or say you didn't have any physical sexual trauma, but from society you actually have a lot of shame surrounding sexuality and surrounding your own sexuality. And so like you're carrying that energy within your womb space, right? So you could have a lot of emotional problems, because on your cycle we have our own emotional cycle as well that goes along with the physical. And so like if you're not in tune, for me, when I used to always be like a point every month where I would lose my mind, I would go crazy, and at this point in my life I was studying Chinese medicine, and I went to my teacher and I had to leave class because I was just like on the verge of bursting into tears because I just couldn't handle anything. And like I said to her, I gotta go home, I'm really sorry, like I'm not feeling okay. And so she ended up, you know, she was totally understandable and totally accepting of it. And that was kind of like the beginning of my journey, when I started understanding like what is normal during a period versus what has just been normalized. Okay, so there's this line now that has been created in Western society where we actually normalize symptoms that aren't normal. So for example, like for your period, like if you have darker blood at the beginning, well, during any of it, but at the beginning or the end, it's usually when you would get a darker blood, because that's actually the stagnated blood from the last period or this period that has just been stagnating. And so when it finally comes out, it's actually not been moving, it's not been flowing. So that's why the color of our blood actually shows us our health. The color of your pee shows you your health. The color of your feces shows you your health. Or even the what's the word I want? like, I don't know, like if it's solid or if it's more loose, right? So like if you have a more solid stool or if you have a looser stool, this is your body communicating with you. If you have a really dry mouth, say like you take medication and it really dries out your mouth, or say that you smoke weed and it really dries out your mouth, or whatever it might be, like having this awareness of what our body is telling us, that's going to be really on the forefront this week, because we're very, very delicate. Okay, so like being able to meet your needs is going to be very, very important. That's the feminine, but I was talking about the masculine, and how as we are purging and processing through like our mental states and our emotional states, there's going to be like this sense of direction as we're navigating through it, because we're tapping more into our spirit, we're tapping more into the guidance of our soul. And so when we are able to really anchor in that voice, that sound, that knowing, then we surrender to our path, and we can let go of all that third dimensional mumbo jumbo bullshit that keeps us down, right? All the doubt, all the fears, all the anything that is limiting you in your reality right now. So we're really being guided right now to listen, just to slow down and to listen. Like, I thought my life was going in one complete other direction, and now this week here I am, everything's changing so fast. And then, again, like, my deepest condolences to a few friends of mine, because they have now passed on to the other side, and I feel them, they're with me. And it's so wild now, because I haven't lost too many people in my life, but a lot of people that are close to me have lost people that have been close to them. And so I've always been the one here holding space and just allowing the grieving process to take place, and for me to really see it. And it's like, guys, like, this is real, this is happening, this is life. Like, death is a part of it, and it's scary when you don't know the truth, but the truth of it is actually really fucking beautiful. And they're free now, and they have chosen to move on with the next chapter of their life. And I can feel them, I can really feel them. And when we can tap into our body, into our mind, into our emotions, and we can connect to the other side, they're guiding us every step of the way. They're with you in every moment, in every thought, in every feeling that you have. And they're there to help you transmute that and really overcome that. And unfortunately, they did lose their lives, but that's not really unfortunate, because then now they're helping us from the other side, and we're really able to learn. There are teachers. It is such a profound moment when we can really see the beauty of why people have lived the lives that they've lived. And when we can look beyond death as an ending, just an ending, and see it as a beginning, which is what I started talking about at the beginning of this weekly update, right? It was like, when we can shift that death to a beginning, all doors open up. This is a new relationship. This is a new way. And spirituality has been suppressed forever, like forever. Why do you think religion is here? Religion is here because spirituality was suppressed, and they wanted to put us into little boxes and say, this is what you have to believe, this is how you have to act, this is how you have to think. So it doesn't surprise me when people want to leave. It doesn't surprise me when we can't handle this reality anymore. And so it's really like putting a flame under my ass to really, okay, if there's anybody, I am quite passionate and involved in my mission already, but it's really showing me like, hey, like, people need this. People need the connection. People need the guidance. People need the external validation. People need you to ask the questions, you being me, right? As this spiritual guide, as this spiritual leader, as somebody that you can come to confide in, to be able to process very difficult times in your life. I'm here. I'm really being called to step into that, because sometimes that's all it takes. And I know that I was there for the one as much as I could have been. And there's always the what ifs, there's always the what ifs, but at the end of the day, this is what it is, and this was their choice, and this was all of our choices and all of it, and they've already agreed to go, and this was their exit point. And it's like I'm really learning my my purpose in teaching people about pain and transformation and alchemizing their emotions, and really, you know, stepping into this healthy version of themselves. Because I say higher self, but at the end of the day, I really just mean a healthier version of you, right? So I think that was that. Yeah, okay, so death energies, so what is no longer serving and exit points being taken. So that's kind of what that's a quick little overview of what I just said around you know, people actually choosing to take their exit points, and then in the physical, not actually leaving our body, but choosing to let go of what isn't serving us anymore. And look at the sun peeping through, guys. This tree is huge. I mean, it's so huge. Dad told me to come and sit by it. I was like, where do I sit? And he said, go sit by that really big tree. So I did, and it's so gorgeous. But yeah, so really reprogramming the word death and our experience around death, and really bringing the light into it, because it's time. It's just time. Okay, we have serious grounding and protection as well, guys. Serious grounding and protection. So as I said, I think 2 weeks ago, I brought up the Tourmaline, the black Tourmaline crystal, and that one is very, very powerful. Basically, any black rock is going to help you to transmute the lower, denser energies, but you can also have like lighter energy rocks. You can just Google like you know, grounding and protection crystals, because you'll find the one that's perfect for you. And honestly, I'm not like a master. It's like me in astrology, right? It's like, yeah, I know a little bit about a little bit here and there, but anyway, so just throwing that out there. Really look into different crystals that are going to help you to ground and protect your energy. Also, I'm going to make a whole video on this, but this is called, well, I kind of just am making up the name now, but what I do here, it's called like the white magic mirror. Ooh, that's beautiful. I like it. I'm going to call it the white magic mirror, because what this technique does, and this is an energy technique, and it's using the angels as well, which I've mentioned the angels and stuff before, but anyway, so you just call in Archangel Michael of 100% pure love and light. So I'm going to actually do this for you. So let me just like do the process, and then it'll work on you as you listen to it. If you want to close your eyes and join in, then that's totally fine. But if not, then just listen and kind of understand what I'm doing here. Okay, so we're just going to connect our breath here. And as you inhale pure white light, and as you exhale pure white light. This is another white light trick where all darkness, a lot of people will breathe in the light and exhale the dark, and this is really transmuting the dark within you. So that light comes in through your nostrils. It transmutes anything of lower vibration, of anything that isn't serving you. And as you exhale, you also exhale the light, because now this is the transmuted light. So inhale the light, exhale the light, inhale the light, and exhale the light. And as you are inhaling and exhaling the light, I want you to connect to your crown chakra, okay? So this is right on the top of your head. You might feel some tingling. For me, I actually feel it open like a flower. It's represented by a lotus in the yogic traditions, and so it's really like a flower opening up, right? And so as you can tap more into energy, this is what you will learn to feel in the subtle bodies, right? So again, keep connecting to your breath, and we're going to call in Archangel Michael of 100% pure love and light. Now, Michael is the protector. Michael is the one that keeps us in alignment with our highest path. And so we call in Archangel Michael, and we're going to get him to put a bubble around us, and this bubble is actually going to be made out of a mirror. So breathe that in and just visualize. I like to just visualize like this, like just this thing that's going around my body over and over and over again, and it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker, and it's creating this protection bubble. And as this protection bubble is solidifying, I actually feel my energy, and I feel the difference between this moment here of where I am and anything outside of me. So I'm creating this very clear boundary, and I'm saying that the mirror is facing the outside, but you can still see it. It's still like transparent glass that you can see through, but on the outside it's a mirror. So this protection mirror, now anybody that is sending you energy, that is sending you negative thoughts, that is energetically attacking you, that is having negative thoughts about you, this could be conscious or unconscious. Somebody might just really not like you and they send you negative energy. So what you're doing is you're cultivating this trust with the universe, and you're putting this protection around you, and you're calling Archangel Michael in, and the mirror is facing out. And as anybody sends you any energies, you are protected. What happens is it hits this mirror and it goes straight back to the center, or center. That works too, straight back to source, but actually the sender. Because what happens is when people are sending this negative energy, and all you can do is just hold this higher frequency. You can stay in the frequency of love, light, unconditionality, truth, and really come back to yourself in these moments so that you can ground, recenter, rebalance, reconnect, recenter, rebalance, reconnect, recenter, rebalance, reconnect. So as we're doing this visualization, and we have this energetic field now that's protecting us with the mirror, sending any energy that is not ours or is that of a negative energy back to the sender. Okay, and this is not asking to harm the center. This is asking for them to learn their lesson. This is asking for them to know that you're protected, that you cannot be fucked with. You are unfuckwithable, right? And so when we can really master these energy techniques, so that is basically the whole thing. But what I do on top of actually putting that protection around me is I actually ask Archangel Raphael, and I call Raphael in and I say, thank you, Michael, for protecting me and making sure that any energy that is sent my way is returned back to sender. And then I ask Archangel Raphael of 100% pure love and light to please come through, to please fill this bubble that I've just protected myself in. And of course my family and friends. This can be done simultaneously with your family, with your pets, with your friends, with your property, with your home, with your business, with everything and anything where there's any attacking going on. Again, this is mostly psychic attacks, but some people could actually be dealing with some very serious legalities. Well, you know what? This also helps because energy is, everything is energy. So when we set our intention and we can really anchor in this higher frequency of guidance, of trust, of love, then we're able to basically create this bubble for ourselves to feel safe and protected in. Okay, so then we call in Archangel Raphael of 100% pure love and light, and we ask him to fill our bubble, to fill our home, to fill our friends, to fill our family with this green light, this pure green light. And because green is a healing energy, and Raphael shows up in a very green energy. And so what we're asking, and so is the heart. The heart is very green as well. So, well, actually this chakra is actually green. So, anyway, so yeah, we ask for this green energy to surround us, and this is a healing energy, because the thing is a double whammy. So if you're needing protection, you're also needing healing. Okay, because if you weren't needing healing, you wouldn't need protection. So what we also ask is that as we're being protected, we're also being healed simultaneously from any karma, for any past life, from anything, from any action that we have taken previous to now, so that we're protected moving forward, and we're healing as we move forward. Then cherry on top, if you want to also call in Archangel Metatron. He is very, 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 very helpful with spiritual understanding and understanding our connection to our spiritual path of our purpose, our soul's mission here, everything to do with lessons and understanding. So basically we ask for the protection to be protected, we ask for the healing to be healed, and then we ask for the spiritual understandings to come through so that we can understand the why, and that we can actually integrate these lessons and these energies. Because what happens if we don't integrate these energies, then people keep manifesting with that same energy, if that makes sense. So basically, like, you know, we can get the people out of our lives that we don't want, but we can't, like, energy doesn't lie. We can't pretend that that's not in our energy field anymore, because we're going to manifest it in somebody else, right? So it's really about being honest with yourself as well. And so really staying in your own lane and really anchoring. So, like, again, that recenter, rebalance, and reconnect back to your breath, back to your light, back to your love, back to your purpose, right? Back to your heart space. Because it could just be that you're not being heard or seen by even yourself. So that's what you're being called for, right? Sorry, I gotta move like an old lady. Okay, cool. So that was amazing. So that's basically my little technique that I use, the tool that I use, which is I guess I called it the white mirror technique, I think, or something, white magic mirror or something. I don't know, I'll have to watch it again to see what I said. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, white mirror, healing, and spiritual understanding. And honestly, with that trilogy, with those three right there, I don't really foresee you needing anything else for this time being. And then you can just keep working on that practice and anchoring it in deeper and deeper. And then, of course, you know, more will come to you. Or if you have other techniques, like, the point is that massive protection energy is needed. And if you're needing protection energy, then we're needing healing energy. So, and why not get some spiritual understanding while you're at it, right? Okay, so yeah, so then the last thing I have is masculine energies are coming back online, guys. So, like, the masculine energy is here. Like, we have amazing, beautiful light workers that are on their mission, that are healing their masculine energy. And when I say masculine, I'm not just talking about men. There's also someone like me or my best friends, Heidi and Chelsea, that are working to really heal both sides of themselves within, so that they don't actually rely on their partners in order to be that masculine. They are the masculine as well, right? So they represent both the feminine and the masculine. So it's really about understanding the whole picture, and not just kind of projecting onto other people like, oh, well, you're the man, so you're the masculine. Well, wrong. You know, like, I know there's no right and no wrong, but wrong, sorry, because the truth of it is that we're all masculine and we're all feminine. And so we have to find that balance within us. And of course, most of us will sway towards one side. But the paradox is the way that we actually live in the world, and the way that we actually feel inside, one is usually portrayed more masculine and one is actually more feminine. So say for me, I show up in the world very masculine, physically appearing I'm very feminine, but the way that I move through the world is very masculine. So I'm very direct. I'm very like, hey, I know I want that and I'm gonna go get it. Okay, so like I have that masculine energy, but the way that my internal world processes all of it is so feminine, because I am all a big ball of emotion. That's all I am. I'm just a big emotional ball. So the way that I live my life is on how I feel, which is why most people don't understand my decisions in life, because I'm like, they're like, why'd you do that? And I'm like, I don't know, because it felt good, because it felt right, because I felt like it. Like, it always comes back to my feelings, right? So it's like, sure, I might look like on the external very masculine and very driven, but on the internal, I'm basically this big ball of goopy like emotions, right? So that's the paradox of it. And when you can actually understand like what masculine means and what feminine means, then you can go deeper into understanding the aspects of yourself. So if you don't know and you want to know, just Google masculine principles and feminine principles, and you really just go deep into your own understanding right there, just through asking the questions on the internet, right? Honestly, that's my awakening. Thanks Google, thanks YouTube, thanks questions, right? So okay, amazing. So here we are. I am gonna actually pull, so we're gonna go this deck first. I thought I was gonna do the other one, but we're gonna go the Lightworker Oracle this week. And let's see what's gonna come through. I'm just gonna get 2 cards from this deck, because usually these are larger lessons. These are Yay, power of the divine masculine, guys. What have I been talking about? Just perfect confirmation, validation. And I love how it's a 10 as well. So 10 is like, the 10 represents the 1 and the 0 of a binary universe, which is also duality and polarity, which I know to most of you guys are like, what the fuck are you saying, Aurora? So that's totally fine. But in numerology, I would say that the 10 represents basically like the 9 is the ending and the 10 is like the next, right? So it's also the ending and the beginning, right? So 1 is the beginning, 0 is that infinite point, right? So anyway, very interesting that that shows up here. Okay, so let's get one more for this week, and these are going to be our bigger, perfect, these are our bigger kind of like focuses, right? So we have 11, messages in the numbers, guys. So the masculine is communicating through you directly with numbers, and now of course I need one more because that's just me. So the universe is communicating with you directly by numbers. So if you have not paid attention to numbers, I ask you this week to pay attention to numbers, write them down, see which numbers that you resonate with, and like start Googling it, like spirit or angel numbers, or you can look up numerological meaning, numerology, but look into messages in the numbers. What do these numbers mean? What number are you seeing over and over and over again? And start kind of like on your own journey of understanding the universe, because this is, oh, you've been asking for guidance and you have been receiving it, but you just aren't actually receiving it. Like you're getting it, like it's showing up, but your awareness isn't there to actually notice. Okay, so you're being asked to notice this week, really notice the guidance, and then an invitation to connect, guys. Can I say it anymore? What did I just say? So and look at 19, so the 1 and the 9, which is also a 10, right? Which is now again showing us that ending and that beginning, right? And so this is an invitation to connect. All endings and all beginnings is an invitation to connect. We're being asked to connect through to the divine masculine, through the numbers, through the numerology, through the whispers of the universe this week. That's so cool. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the Soul's Journey lesson cards. So let's see what's gonna come through this week for the Soul's Journey lesson cards. My God, it is so gorgeous. Once I'm done pulling cards, I'm gonna show you guys. Oh wait, I already did show you guys. Well, I want to show you again because it's just so beautiful. I'm gonna have to come to the park and do lives and stuff. I don't do lives, by the way, but I'm gonna have to start. Okay, so just asking, calling in the energy, my higher self, your higher self, all guides at 100% pure love and light, and let's really just allow this to flow through us here today. What do we need to hear for the week of August 2nd? I don't know if I also already said, but it is my dad's birthday today. So, you know, I'm giving him a little visit, but I still had to do my work, which is this. So he's over sitting in the car and I'm here. So it's just funny. And I already knew that the masculine was coming up because now I've lost 2 beautiful humans in this physical life. And now it's my dad's birthday and I'm celebrating it with him. And it's just so interesting. So I was already getting that message that 4242. So look up what 42 means, angel number and numerologically, because I'm curious. I'll have to look up too, but that's just what they said. They said use this as an example to show them how to receive the guidance. So I don't know what 42 represents, but we are going to look into it, and I want you to see how it resonates. Okay, success. So I know that there is no greater goal than to love. Right, so okay, so then here it is. So because the masculine's coming in, he's actually inviting us in to redefine what success is to us. And it's funny because I just talked to my sister about this on the phone today, and I said, well, you know what, Abby, like, don't worry about what other people, like what success is in the real world. I said, I went to college, I dropped out, it wasn't for me, it was so hard for me because I felt like I was quitting, I felt like I was giving up. But the reality and the truth of it is that I never gave up on me. I never gave up on listening to my feelings and my thoughts and what I wanted, even though I had to unprogram myself from what success means out there and what success means out in the real world. You gotta fit in the real world. Well, let me create my own fucking world, because this world makes me sick, okay? Like, this world is too much for me. So I had to create my space, my safe space, because it was too much. It was too much for me, and I didn't have a space to be safe. So what is your success, right? What is success to you? And really, like the masculine is saying, I am here to guide you. I am here to help you understand what success means to you and how you can embody that in your lifetime. This lifetime. This is the lifetime that you get to embody patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Okay? I accept that everything happens in divine order. Okay, well, that's just annoying to the human, isn't it? Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear patience. Okay, let's see. I don't even need to go into that because I already know. Oh, here we go. Patience, health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul, guys. This is also what I said this week, okay? This is going to be a big one. Your body's going to be communicating with you. And then doubt. I released the need to know all the answers, okay? And it was reversed. So just so you guys know, doubt was reversed. So this is going to be a big block for us this week. And that's why you're being asked to put that protection on you with this mirror white light, because it's going to return back to sender, and you're gonna not receive as much of that wavering energy of uncertainty, of not sure where to go, of not trusting people, of doubting yourself, of wondering if this feeling that you're feeling is the feeling you should follow, or if it's the wounded self, or if it's like so many questions. Like, tap into your knowings, like remind yourself what you do know, remind yourself what you are here for, right? So let's get one more here for the week. And judgment reversed. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So that's a really, really big one. So like if and honestly, I'm even feeling like this week people are gonna watch this and judge me because I'm losing my filter. Like, I'm more or less just being more authentic every single time that I come on here. So I just got that for myself, actually, because there are people that are gonna watch this out of like, you know, like envy and jealousy and kind of being curious and nosy, like, about what the hell I'm all about. And they're like, okay, let me figure this girl out. Well, there's really nothing to figure out. I am me. But there are those judgments that are being projected onto me. And so this is me speaking through the camera to you right now. What is it that I've said this week that has been that you feel triggered by me saying or being or representing? And really ask yourself, like, what is that? Why did that bother me? What inside of me made me uncomfortable? Was it maybe something that your mom used to always say to you, like, oh, Aurora, why would you ever say something like that out in public? Like, oh my God, right? So it's like there's maybe like some energy, some judgment energy. And then of course it's that personal judgment, right? It's that persecution of self and like kind of that crucifixion energy of like, well, like, you judge yourself, you're your biggest critic, right? So it's like really asking for you to let go of that judgment. And honestly, this all goes with success and patience, because look at success and patience here, guys. They're kind of very similar cards, the backgrounds, like they're all like they're very simple. And then we have here like doubt, health, and judgment. And like judgment and doubt, this is your health, guys. This is what keeps you blocked. This is what stops you, and these were both reversed, right? So remember that. So judgment and doubt is what blocks you from your health, okay, guys? Because you're living from a place of lack. You're living from your place of not enough, right? When you look at somebody else's life and you're jealous or you're envious, you are coming from a place of lack, because you're saying, well, I don't have that, or I can't have that, and they have it, and so I'm jealous. Why don't you let it inspire you? Why don't you let it, you know, move you forward and say, oh, look at them doing that. I really want that. Hey, isn't it cool that you finally know what you want? Isn't that cool, right? So moving forward like that. So without doubt and without judgment, but it's sometimes listening to the doubt and listening to the judgment. So perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Again, that was reversed, guys. So there's a block there with showing up. So when you think people don't show up for you, the hard truth of it, 48, okay, whatever that means, I don't know, maybe it's about not showing up for yourself, but the truth of it is that when you don't show up, or when you think that it's somebody else, say your partner or your children or whatever it is, your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, whatever it is that's not showing up, your boss, anybody, it's actually you not showing up for you. And I know that that's not always the easiest pill to swallow, but it is the truth. Because when we can take responsibility for the ways that we are or are not showing up in our reality, that's the only time it's ever going to shift, right? So, okay, last one, guys. So work your light oracle. Let's see. And also too, this week I'm going to put the link below for you to book a one-on-one with me, because I am actually starting to open up sessions, because I was going to start a market and do a whole thing and that fell through. And so now I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Let's start one-on-one sessions and let's really start focusing on like helping people move through and unpack, because I have helped a lot of people, but I haven't actually made a business out of it. So I think it's about time. So maybe there's some business things going on as well this week for us as well. Star seed, what lights you up? So this is the energy right now. See, and that's that business. I was just talking about business. So there's some business energy, which is also masculine energy, guys, right? So star seed, what lights you up? You are a star seed. Let me see, what else do we have that's going with the other cards that we pulled? That masculine energy. We have an invitation to connect. The messages in the numbers. What else wants to come through? What lights you up? Okay, Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening, guys. Okay, cool. So the block between what it is and what you want is all in your head. It's all in your mind, guys. So when we can shift that belief that we're never going to be good enough, or we're never going to see the day where we can actually enjoy our lives, or, oh, we'll see it when I retire, whatever belief that it is, like that's the only thing that's stopping you from experiencing heaven on earth. And say that you do have this massive fear of death, or you do have this massive fear of spiders or something, I don't know, water, anything. Well, wouldn't it be amazing if you could reclaim that fractal aspect of yourself and just feel safe, feel home? Okay, so we're being called home this week, guys. We're being called home to change our physicality, our physical reality. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Trust your intuition. Spirit is coming through so fucking loud and clear, and he's saying, or she's saying, or it's saying, are you listening? Are you listening? Oh God, I just exploded all the cards. This energy. This is gonna be an intense energy this week, guys. Okay. And just on top here, I'm going to put her back. But star mother, how can you mother yourself, right? So what was I saying? I was just saying that about, you know, how can I show up? How can I nurture? What is it that I need right now? So let's see. And this one will be the final card for the week. Pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. Like, holy shit. Could it get any better? I love this deck too, because they put in the box, you are the oracle. I love it. So yeah, you are the oracle, guys. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. And that was my confirmation that, you know, you are successful. And you did already pull that success card, right, guys? So we did get that success card. So like, don't doubt yourself. Don't judge yourself. Be patient with yourself. Focus on your health and your needs and what it is that's going to keep you in alignment, not what everyone else is doing, not what people are telling you they think you should be doing. Shut that voice out. Shut any voice out that is not your own soul, that is not your own whisperer, that is not the universe, the universal energy that is trying to connect with you. They're trying to connect. The divine is trying to connect. Spirit is trying to connect. We're trying to connect. And you have to be open to receive the call. So you're really, 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 really being asked, because your vibration is rising. And as your vibration rises, that means that you have to shift what it is and how you're choosing to show up in your life, right? So wow, that was beautiful. That was amazing. I want to just show you guys this beautiful, gorgeous park and where did that sun go. Look at this tree. This is my setup. This beautiful tree and the sun. So that is that, guys. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope you have an amazing week. And I guess I'll just say happy birthday to my dad on YouTube as well, even though he's right there, but I'm sure he'll watch this. So happy birthday, Dad. Happy 53rd birthday. I hope that everybody enjoys the masculine energy really coming in and guiding them this week, and Spirit really like offering its hand and holding itself out. It was just 53, right? So noticing these signs, they're all here, guys. All right, I look forward to hearing all about your week in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to receive the weekly update every week. I will post a link if you're interested in booking a one-on-one session. I'm sending you so much love in such a dark time. Don't worry, the end is just the beginning. So we're all in this together, guys. I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful week. Bye.